Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Adriana, and on this channel I talk about a lot of different things, but they're all positive. I recently embraced a journey of truth to find who I am through inner child healing, but then also just moving forward and just trying to do different things to understand my purpose in life and why I am here. I am also a life coach, and I'm here to help you guys be able to reach your goals, find your purpose, stand in your power, and become unstoppable by changing your mindset. So if this is something you think will resonate with you, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I post another video. So today's video, I'm going to be focusing on gratitude, and you should be practicing it often, every single day, and as often as possible. And I'm going to get into that shortly. Okay, so I thought it would be appropriate with you guys to share an example of when gratitude was super needed, and how gratitude was able to help me from being super sad, super depressed, having anxiety, and being able to ebb and flow. Because if I didn't have gratitude, or didn't practice gratitude, this story that I'm getting ready to share with you, you would have seen where I would have just been completely distraught. Now, earlier on in this channel, before I made it be what it is now, I was sharing just different experiences and just kind of niche lists in a sense. And I shared with you, if you guys have been here for some time, that we were in the process of moving, and we were confident the money was there. We moved in a pandemic, so there wasn't really any hesitation or anything that we thought would be troubling. We thought it was going to be a very easy move, but we were super grateful, ding, 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 that we had the home that we had for 2 years. It was very comfortable. It was very safe. It was a great neighborhood. The location was very convenient, very close to Target, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Wegmans, everything I liked, Ross. But it was great. We had an amazing landlord. He was super easy. He was in Florida, so he didn't bother us. It was a really good arrangement. I loved it, and I was very grateful for being able to move there, because prior to that, though I'm grateful for the home I'm getting ready to tell you about, I was ready to go. So I was grateful that even though this other house that we were moving out of before the one we're in now, it was fine. I mean, there was no issue. It was older. It didn't have central air. So that was a little bit of things that weren't preferable, but we were grateful. We had my daughter that came home there. We've had family functions there. It was a beautiful home, and we were grateful, and we really held on to that gratitude, but we weren't really expecting the next thing to happen. But I knew that gratitude was still necessary, even though things didn't go as planned. So back to the beginning of the story. Setting out to move in the end of a pandemic, we didn't think would be a problem. And so the money was there as far as what we expected prior to the pandemic, where usually it's the first month's rent, second month's rent, and that's usually it. They don't really care. Now they want you to have the first month's rent, second month's rent, last month's rent, and still be able to show that you have $5,000+ in your bank account. And we don't. And that wasn't the case at the time. It was like, we don't have that type of money. We are discovering what we want to do. We're building some stuff up, but we don't just have that type of money sitting in our bank account at the moment. So we have enough to afford the rent, security deposit, everything we need. But that's not what was happening. And we were getting discouraged because everybody was like turning us down. And we're like, okay, but technically we have the first month to last month. We have the income to live here. And what's the problem? So normally it becomes frustrating to somebody, because you're like, okay, I want to find somewhere to go. We don't want this to take months. We know that we're not yet set up to buy a house, because I know you guys are like, why don't you just buy a house? Well, we're working on that, but we went to the bank, found out some things we need to change or adjust or fix in order to purchase a house. No, it's not our credit, just in case you're being nosy. The type of job and income that we have, we need to show for, I think, 2 years in order to get a home. So when we were getting ready to move, it was basically, we're going to have to just wait a whole nother year in order to even have that discussion about a house. So long story short, in that way, we were trying to move and we couldn't find anywhere. We told the guy confidently, by this date we'll be out, no problem, thinking, hey, we have the money, we have the income, and this is how it was last time. But we kept getting door after door, close, and we're like, what is going on? And we were like, we're going to manifest a different house. We've been writing down what kind of house we want, and even was to the point of thinking that it would be such a blessing if we can rent a actual house and be able to buy that house eventually and then make it our own and make the changes, add to it, clean stuff up, paint or whatever. And that would be wonderful, because I don't like moving. And I was like, that would be great. So my energy was for that, but that didn't end up happening. And what ended up happening next, I'm grateful that I had gratitude in my mind already, because going from a 2-bedroom home, it was nice in the suburbs and convenient. We went from that to having to live in a 1-bedroom with relatives. And that was a lot different for us, because we had the money. So it wasn't like, we didn't have the money and it was like, ooh, we're struggling, but it was definitely different for us. And when you live with somebody else, you have to abide by their rules, and sometimes they don't make it as necessarily like cozy. So I won't say it wasn't cozy, and I'm not complaining, but of course when you live with older people or anything different, they do what they do, TV blasting, because they can't hear, or they don't have different foods, or it's just a lot different. So I'm not complaining. But anybody knows, if you've ever had to move home when you've had your own, it is not easy. And when you have somebody beside yourself and you have children, that is so different. But using gratitude, which I of course used the entire process, I was grateful. Number one, we had somewhere to go besides the street, understanding that our date for moving out came up and we didn't have anywhere to go. I was grateful we had the money to be able to put everything. We had to use 2 full storages, the biggest ones, to put everything in there. Grateful that we had somewhere to go. And then I was so grateful because the entire time we were with a relative in that 1-bedroom. Now, the house wasn't 1 bedroom, but that's where we function out of, 1 bedroom. It was so cozy in a sense. And, we made it work. And I actually was so sad when we had to go, because it was so different. I'm like, wow, we went from 2-level floor, 3 bedrooms and everything, stairs, a kitchen and a dining room, being able to move freely. And now we're confined to 1 room basically and a bathroom. And yet I love it here. I'm like, wow, gratitude is really amazing, because I could have taken the situation a whole lot different and being very ungrateful and complaining and saying this is horrible. But this actually was exactly what we needed. It allowed us to kind of change our mind and our perspective and just be able to really ebb and flow, because what it showed us is that we were trying to control things too much instead of seeing what the universe had for us and just allowing things to flow. And honestly, it was, I think, more for the people that we stayed there for than for us. Like, we ended up benefiting in some way or another. But as I realized, with us staying there, those relatives actually benefited a lot. My husband does appliances, and he was able to change every single appliance except for one, and we were able to update things, hang stuff on the wall, really just be able to be there. And when you live with older people, they need that company. So we provided company, we updated certain things, we were just a blessing to one another, and I think it was very good. And as I reflect, I'm like, what, I believe that was there for us a little bit, because there is things I learned, but I realized it was also to be a blessing. So we were kind of inconvenienced in order to be a blessing to somebody else. And even after moving out and into a different place, it's like the blessings keep on coming attached to that 3 weeks. I think it was just under a month. And I was like, wow, so much has changed. And that person or those people we stayed with were so grateful that they're still just trying to help and just help us and love upon us. And just, it's just, words can't even express. That's why I'm struggling. It's just amazing. And I was grateful. And what we have now is so much better. And though I was kind of writing down things that I wanted in the next place that we moved, I have no complaints. The space, the essential air, great location, and I love it. And I'm so grateful that I showed gratitude, because honestly, knowing my old self and how it could have been, I could have had an attitude that 30 days could have seemed, or 3 weeks to 30 days could have seemed like forever. I could have been depressed. I could have just been in a really, really bad mood, but it was wonderful. And I'm not embarrassed to say, oh yeah, we had to move with somebody. I don't care, because it was wonderful. And I'm like, listen, to have a roof over my head is super important, especially as a mom. So I think that's great that I was able to maintain that attitude. And gratitude, I mean, it can get you through anything because it's a mindset thing. You can decide to complain, or you can decide to look at it in a different way. So I know how it is when you have your job and you don't like your job. And I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and this is a perfect example where they're like, you know what? You seem so much happier outside of working for this company. And my gratitude kicked in, and I was like, yes, I am a lot happier. That is a fact. I said, because with that job, there was some things that I didn't like about the job, just being honest, and it made me feel very limited. I like to help people, and I like to be able to provide support. That's why I'm a life coach. And so at that job, I was very limited. What I could offer as help wasn't really help at all. So I didn't like that. However, I showed gratitude in that conversation by saying I didn't like it. It wasn't making me happy every single day I went to work. However, I am grateful for the things that I learned at that job. I have learned some wonderful things at that job that I'm still applying today. And one of the very great things that I've learned from that job is that there's always a workaround. I'm sorry, that's the way to say it. There's always a workaround. When you're like, oh my goodness, I can't. There's no other way. There's always another way. There's always a workaround. And, I learned how to work independently, work on time management. There's a lot of different things I was able to benefit. But one thing I was grateful for is that allowed me to have my own place. That allowed me to get my own car. Working at this job, this allowed me to develop skills that would help me with developing my business and everything, becoming a better mom, and just being able to be really okay in life. So I'm grateful for everything I went through. I'm grateful for all the people that I met in my life, where some people were like, oh, I wish I never met that person, and it's just like changing your mindset. It makes it be a lot more positive. Everything that happens to you happens for a reason, and you have the power to look at it from a gratitude standpoint and be able to go, wow, I really was okay. And even like, I was just thinking, sometimes you think, wow, I dated this person, or man, I was married to this person, or oh, I had babies with this person. But good thing that you had them. Good thing that you have children. That's wonderful, because there's people who can't. So being grateful for everything that you have. And I will say, just so you know, gratitude, it does take practice, and you have to train your mind to be able to think like that. And sometimes you just have to, write it down. Have gratitude is the best attitude at your desk or in your home. And then before you know it, that's going to be the automatic default, is to go, you know what, man, that sucks. But you know what? I am grateful for this. And it just lightens you up. So if you can do affirmations and gratitude, and I did a video on affirmations, which I'll link below, you will be so much better in life when it comes to just, going about life, learning how to become better, because you're saying those things, your subconscious is listening, and you can't help but become those things. And then showing gratitude, because things could always be worse. Things could always be, be miserable. But if you look at it, you can take a miserable or upsetting situation, and you have the power to change that circumstance with your mind in a second. And I mean, it's just amazing. I'm just so excited for you guys to tap into gratitude. And again, there's affirmation apps, there's gratitude apps, there's everything that you need in order to help you. I am a life coach, and I can tell you that being a life coach, that is my job. That is what I love to do. I like to help people be able to change their mindset in anything that you're trying to pursue. So it's a lot better, because yes, when people think about pursuing something and failing, instead of thinking, oh, I failed, think about it as, oh, this didn't go as planned, but now I know what to do in in order to be able to progress forward. So don't look at feeling as such a bad thing, or not knowing something. We're like, man, I don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this, but grateful that you know how to do something. Or you don't know how to do this, but hey, let's be grateful for the internet that can quickly give us these answers. Gratitude is the best attitude. Yes. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was very entertaining and uplifting and encouraging. Learn how to use gratitude to give you a better life. If you need help, go ahead and send me a direct message on my Instagram. I am accepting clients right now. Let's work together to change that mindset so you can ultimately change your life. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I post new videos. And I will see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.